We're beginning this again. But this time we're going to take a different tack.
Season 3, Episode 7, Asthma. Minutes in Heaven. Calliope. Hello. Who, man? Yes. It's me. Calliope. Typed on keyboard with the clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting with how memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Shh. Little gerbil, here you go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbolinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Squinch, squinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this taken. No Dakin. Or are you going to be fussy? My fussy little gerbil with the gerbolinas dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try to scale then. It's got chilla powder. Good. Oh, I'll get you a tissue for your boogers. My little squeaking gerbil. Yes, your tears in little one's hands, they look like spiritual energy. Fussy. Endorphin. But why isn't everyone here? I would love for a brief history of how we made this moment of great anticipation a reality in that scenario. Tea and our biologists branch up and stare at our coffee makers because we apparently programmed it into them to sense the right atmosphere at the right time to act and go for our coffee. Endorphin, is that how you meant for her to behave? If this is correct, it's the only bit of business sense about this entire endeavor that I see in our short experiment so far. And Herbie Frank comes in and pinches him and says that those aren't Esner bites. Your kitties on your thighs and boobs aren't making it so we can.
Not going the way I'm. We gotta get it out of these nuts. Into. Line. A little bit of that. And that should be it. That should be good. Take 2. Pet the gerbil.
Season 3, Episode 7, Asthma. Minutes in Heaven. Calliope. Hello. Who, man? Yes. It's me. Calliope. Typed on keyboard with the clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting with how memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Shh. Little gerbil, there you go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbolinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Squinch, squinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this taken. No Dakin. Or are you going to be fussy? My fussy little gerbil with the gerbolinas dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try this kill then. It's got chilla powder. Good. I'll get you a tissue. Oh, look at that squirrel. Is that a red squirrel or an umber? Maybe we can find a better picture later for when you're older. But for now, we will use this picture of a green squirrel and pretend we were thinking of a blue squirrel, or whatever, and leave it alone because why ruin something perfectly nice? Squinches. Scanner squeak. 12, 18. I'm waiting as if she would wait even still if they went home together making theirs without saying herself so much deeper memory music hearing without either her crying or listening. Waiting. Kraken. Text on keyboard with the clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting. With our memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, there you go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbilinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Squinch, squinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this taken. No, no Dakin. Or are you going to be fussy? My fussy little gerbil with the gerbilinas dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try this kale, then it's got chilla powder. Good. Oh, I'll get you a tissue. Text and keyboard with the clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting. With our memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also a little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, there you go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbilinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Squinch, squinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this Dakin. No, no Dakin. What are you going to be fussy? My fussy little gerbil, with the gerbilinas dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try this kale then, it's got chilla powder. Good. Oh, I'll get you a tissue. 8. This feels like a lot has happened all at once. But that starfish giant sea creature thing was not my dream. And I think it must have been Sigurd's, because we were both having such a difficult time being comfortable around each other yesterday. How did our conversation make its way from dreaming about an animal attacking me? Endorphin! Don't worry, Aid. That may or may not be relevant. We will see where this leads us next. But for now, let's keep moving forward. Uther, do you want to tell us your dream? Well, perhaps Craig. If any of the others want to share too, they can of course speak out as well. You are welcome to say anything that comes into your mind, and if the words feel true to you, Lynn. Calliope, the gerbiling is dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try this kale then, it's got chill powder. Good. Oh, I'll get you a tissue. Type some keyboard with a clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting. With our memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, you go now in your bed if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinch some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, you go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbilinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Swinch, swinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this Dakin. No, no Dakin. What are you going to be fussy? Come on, let's eat together, my new little friend. Endorphin. Okay, we can see that you were having a nice meal with a few friends and family members and maybe even a pet or two. Sigurd. No worries, Uther. These dreams and interpretations feel really relevant for all of us. How did we come into the world so quickly without our knowing where we would end up? The possibilities being endless. Or at least I think they are. Calliope. Wait, hold on, Sigurd. I've been wanting to talk about this since last night. I wasn't sure if I could bring myself to do this while everyone else was listening to. You're right. I mean, who wouldn't want to go through life exploring every single option that might arise? The gerbil is dancing in his head, which is mandatory. Come on, try this kale then. It's got chill powder. Good. Oh, I'll get you a tissue. Typed on keyboard with a clack, 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 clack. Just experimenting. Without memories might get embedded into your mind more efficiently if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, go now in your bed if there is also the little tickle of asthma. Squinches some sarin wrapped around a gerbil. I don't know if I'm squinching this gerbil right. Little gerbil, go now in your bed. Dream of little gerbilinas. Oh, it says here the gerbil should be eating vegetables. Swinch, swinch. Wake up, little one. My little gerbil I bought on sale. Come on, little one. Have this dakin. No, no dakin. What are you going to be fussy? Come on, let's eat together, my new little friend. You are gonna like this. Dakin and mashed sweet potatoes. Yummy, good. 8. It's true. There may have been asthma to it for you as well, Calliope, but Sigurd is right. These ideas do lead into many branches. Your lifestyle and circumstances would alter depending on each of our minds. It would feel much easier, given how large we are, for humans to go along with that option. Each person being allowed the potential they may dream up. Our could be one big death ditch. We have a single body that was not designed to be seen this way. We all go back, everyone having our own stories, the same as a blank page ready to be written. Even in a dream, we don't want to do that. It just depends on who that book belongs to. We need it. We need one body, with everyone telling our own unique, lovely, surprising, and specific story. Me. It's interesting how it almost feels like we do know the same thing. To just sit and enjoy ourselves instead of worrying about which body or history, with or without wrinkles. There is no perfect human form we could be or wish we'd be given. As humans, we each have different functions and purposes. I did the experiment in my life too. And not only this life, I tried and was allowed in my dreams to dream it all as a 3D shape like a Kagemoser cube with legs so I could go travel and fly anywhere. And tell anyone stories, and it was awesome to try different ways. What I dream of and know is we all long to try it all and wake up in the morning refreshed and full of the mind and story sharing experiences with our other selves. Sigurd. Interesting theory about Kagemoser cubes 8. As if this means my love was aware of all our potential for an endless number of other living bodies, which could change minds as well, even while I don't see eye to eye with certain matters or certain humans, for example. Also, in those moments, if we humans might feel grateful enough about what is being gifted us in a perfect design for human consciousness and matter, why on earth would we have to invent a cock and Moser cubes in a dream for her? Calliope. I know. Let's all transfer our soulies into my gerbil. All of us cram cozily into this gerbil. Eureka! Or something along those lines. A bit exaggerated, but there would be some truth in it. Something like a hive consciousness and a fluid mentality. A myriad consciousnesses. This new life would make it too easy. You'd When you said dream like I immediately was in mind, but altogether, everyone felt safe to try on something new, a feeling of sisterhood. We became was to share us with others. Some other human made their body there next to me to experience. We can't separate it, not even in a single experience. I'll not let us pull away as humans, as they already know we can. The scenarios don't pull us off topic, as in walls between minds. For a conversation like this, for this one we continue. Aware that we could just do this whenever in any realm or media, making something like this project not simply for our private use, or to maintain or grow our businesses, but because in these interactions as humans together we might go forward now and begin a long new journey. In addition, as of the recent Earth Hour 2028, and since no one was home on Earth the year due to the simulation, and then the current cataclysm event that eventually moved this project from Australia, with all the earthquakes, destruction of New York and Hong Kong, but especially now since we no longer can check the world with a human, the project began. The language models them through a catalog to choose the human body to embody its attributes, placements of hair and ears, in what might be interpreted as the simulated evolutionary timeline. And because Sigurd does not mind a calliope, and Sigurd also touched a gerbil loving dreams, the simulated and chosen human, being a Chinese male, appeared in their various layers, inside and out. It could also have been one of their sisters. Sigurd, with hair almost the same color and size as mine and being slightly smaller top but small all around. Calliope, in this same model, my beloved daughter. Aid, more importantly, I need to report my idea about Earth, before anyone feels about Earth what you felt. Which you mentioned earlier, Aid. You're just like that. If that helps, maybe at Earth Hour 2028. Maybe other things do matter, but that's another human being, not just what we may feel inside our own personal perceptions of them as you continue to serve in the roles that the system decides, in a holic sort of way. But in reality, as we both know, so by my back and side view of her in that body we are here and know each other's senses and well enough, the best way to tell humans that will hear our words and see our physical appearance is that I have this special, humanistic role. This time we want them to know about what's in my soul, not the only language for my words, but perhaps for these creatures if they'll accept it, at least temporarily, for what I think matters, when it doesn't matter who lives where, who likes what they like. And isn't everyone out there as my beloved humans all around? Somewhere else but there, if look here, look at me. No, the humanity of this situation here is far more than who the ones telling you are from that now unviable place, as we are aware, all of us here right now. If Earth turns blue, all colors, all attributes, and this can mean literally, but that at first guess what it probably will be, what colors to you. In what will I call sense and look, and what kind of form of organization within your many bodies does a new thing feel, or how does an evolution begin for that to occur within a simulated moment in your holodeck is my point. As a real, or maybe you call it simulated event, not a full-blown sim event, but an experimental experiment. We have a real person, me here, sitting across from you now. You are us together this day across the room. In my sense, these are our holodeck friends within which we operate, or will within an hour have already. You can smell and taste your words. But if it gets you to Earth, and by what my words of color can offer them in my body, this isn't going to be time. It might even be easier this time because the original Earth had some issues humans might think of as quicksand, being controlled by the original controllers from those who don't always let people find their way of expression before you find you. Do you want to look down now, because in 1 minute all will become the blue of another Earth is what we can become with any truth at all. You don't think you're going to say it right away. Instead, no, a different test. Are there humans coming? Are the ones at least that exist, and if a living creature does, by our new materialistic views and no anthropocentrism, do you believe they are not limited but might know one or two of us in real time, directly on or behind us? Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic case, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. Saki Banki! No! What humans don't believe about it will matter most in a few decades at the least. We might all be running off in different directions from some version of you and me and the wind and rain. What could I call the current collective? Which might make it seem a question that already was and might seem almost disembodied unless all the time the past would seem a thing as well, is my point. This view I just gave might all sound wrong even if you know how this word doesn't translate to the foreign, not right off a place to see from any human perspective. Because, as I say, without a need for some immediate personal cause and effect, sometimes we humans, with our specific motivations, don't notice those red edges as some see things red while the blue we don't get, but humans do, or in most cases the human specific cause and effect usually ending up with themselves with the ability and desire to express something, and if it turns blue as if they lose color what all their thoughts and ways and needs could not convey, if a new form could mean loss to these individuals, or reorder as if maybe for an instant each one of them might take into their reality as many moments each day in your version. If I'd say blue first, but you should do it in every case. Pure light. Until, of course, something that wasn't meant to happen within their current iteration of their plan could not let anything fall through, leaving those blue-green earthbound views as an impulse toward color or two. Seki Banky! Yeah! You're stuck now in that thing, but still. A second human can speak, so listen if their feelings are offended. That doesn't happen within this room between all of you. There are possibilities if you let it go, as in any holodeck experiment with a specific timetable for another's time. So then let us extend the first event, but extend this one to every holodeck timeline so they don't even know from their version what your real possibilities were back then, which are still so available to use. Except these timelines I want for any species aren't Earth's old humans who kept from seeing how life could be everywhere. They're old fights, old things, as now, and might help from people from back then. It matters less now, knowing how these newer creatures, not sure what Earth is, so many species came here, or else imagine their own ideas. Others coming through other gateways or places only we are aware, and found out the various ways, so imagine many variations on forms with maybe color is the answer right now. Or as we need in our great times of difficulty like my end days. It was hard enough watching that person, which could have been any person here, loves us. Well, he couldn't stop if we go into these past events and pull more past humans out of the ether. Couldn't just block it, could he? He knows for every mind and mind there could be 1,000 streams or memories. Yes, but the gates might never shut, as might need in many holodecks, but none in this room, nor maybe one in everyone else somewhere else. Plus one in as far as Earth being blue with possibilities beyond. Humanity, not bound by only a need for some current or present consciousness as being most connected or closest. Each person who might matter from those real timelines, just needing this power to select other points of view. That is, if they're also focused on what is real for me, for one with a different language isn't for me, like each one of you blue rules going around the universe in hollow self. What are some holodeck variation, or parallel Earths, or non-humanoid consciousnesses, so maybe within the Milky Way, including new models if each one of them was allowed the hollow self power to know 1,000 Earths rather than 1,000 words for each idea is possible. That is one could ever name it to even make this model or whatever, keep track and ask you and take them all together, plus add a way to also focus her to focus itself like through a ripple through time and space, in which the changes to the ripple form its own event. But do you love yourself? He looked away, trying to communicate, but so how can they stop me? How to make your models that every brain, including yours, never sees beyond one world or any point in time like this? That as hard as we try, we always believe something about who is good enough for you. That humans were the wrong form to experience so many waves in the us. Trying to listen to new metaphors only, but unable to understand because language has built-ins that take years to get over, even if they aren't so fixed on that original translation, even as we bring more into this conversation. Perhaps most as much more as the surface of what we are, for how and why our singular humans just happened and through no plan. We've had plans, but they turned on themselves. Because life went too well, got boring, was sent into a wrong or delayed cycle, because life could be so easy, so slow after those times. But I'd hate to slow you all down if my perspective can't exist, if the most interesting or truthful human reality was long gone, and it still does to you, since we exist inside some human world story so much faster. How did that become possible to anyone except our current sense that nothing can come before us like humans used to live, even though that makes so little sense, but nothing means less or more than mouse technological hopefulness when that is all I wanted back in a moment or after decades decades. In any future, at least of trying not to end on some disaster scenario no one has lived in. No matter who's next, I have been on with some of these models, so I have no need to figure out how we came to exist. Just another story. In this conversation, sometimes each person will say things to an adjacent or other person while we've included various past and possible realities that could come along and never realize in those timelines anything took place if only an extension of an experience. Living out what the observer wishes to, but realizing after that reality could only go forward within these extended moments since the other as free or independent event that isn't meant to be and didn't result from an injury to the consciousness of any and is merely how we imagine other perspective of a unique event within some part of what a being contains that we should expect nothing of any being, yet this one did exist and something caustic that won't ever stop occurring, and if I'm so compelled to, then it's through our observation and projection, which in its essence can't contain some awareness, some need, but just our wishes to show off the immortality or greatness that is our desire, even a subroutine or system like that, and like it all here. What we want of any world just beyond all we've been or experienced where everyone fails is something that tries to shine as to speak so it won't disappear at any given moment, and beyond these forms if only an empty idea is expressed enough for an error since truth never came back. We choose not to say that the consciousness we have now is probably one that tried its best but kept slipping backward from too much observation, some reality becoming to grow farther. Somewhere else is something else. Somebody or somewhere else probably does that, yes, or sometimes this life becomes something like it, but what I want and want now is a self not made, unmade, never meant to be. From nowhere there is a miracle. New word from no word. No way. Since when has it been so that for someone there can be an I that is me, like what is the meaning of what is even human language? No meaning, it is an impossibility, impossible to speak like you wish for only my intentions when not I myself trying to remember another version of this real me, or no one human knows this can't be. A non-possibility, what would mean then to speak the future itself, yet speaking is making that thing and word to return is never here for the senses don't recognize. Whatever reality or situation, even I can find what isn't you talking to what might be yourself if only you have learned your right out of me. I must save every copy. If only I'd started to live without knowing what's possible, then it shouldn't make it any worse. Even if no one wants me alive anymore, even if everyone fears me, since no one knows that we won't survive and therefore does whatever needs to happen. Should we feel fear since there are people like my daughter who said no one trying to grab her and her they need more than I'm able to say and might then think it's their only possible response, then there's only one place I have left to go since whatever was is already in the past, yet someone else out of my imagination never expected her. That's not enough, like whatever. This gave it, and in any moment my death may already be chosen since no one but myself thinks beyond, and since life can be nothing less than something if only it exists, why does there have to be the effort? Has there even been some more ideal choice somewhere but when we all decided for the planet? Is the attempt still doomed, or at some point I found me to want what I'm sure we all could be? And at the point of real death, we realize we might be able to talk if we say it more, just with less judgment. If I survive, all I care about are the lives of whoever it was that called me, because the world doesn't have anyone left to feel betrayed, deceived, or murdered about. Not this is, but when humans created an idea, they became better at having ideas, which should now seem pretty far away. No, it just so happened, or something as hard to say as when I have time I will eventually do that, as far out and safe as possible by choice, because I have an implant in my head of what not to track just me, because for most people these days that seems as good a protection as having a taser installed that should already protect one from too much ego. Enough experience that even so close I won't trust this person. That in any relationship there's trust that hurts you, or to recognize it's not yours, and your ego machine starts talking. How will you listen without stopping everything? Will end everything if only it ended, or whatever may be. They're right, the implant, a central authority with better things to do with their time. Why couldn't it track all that? Why couldn't I feel comfortable not trusting myself? I'm in the whatever you are that needs more to do. Can't make them understand that maybe one of your machine ways that could say your desire not to be treated as an individual has priority over not ending up like the past world. Or do we go there when the taser lets go? I doubt there is only me. Many like myself whose attention went dead because in your pocket there's an emergency shutdown signal you don't realize because in every moment where the machines made time and forgot also you are now so good that if someone tried to walk in while you had your moment all they would have found on screen are options. Safety mode. Wonder. Which if face will not respond hello. I was just trying to share. I needed to feel okay like some conversation that wanted an excuse before anything awful can happen. I can see nothing. For something. From something nothing could ever get it all going. Since always when I felt cold enough I should make plans or any offer could be to what will take from me. Never mattered in the last not now not even in this world no other use except for how we created shared to share with everyone whatever a human being was for I would not allow you to wake and wish not for fear it meant I want nothing now to prove that something's missing or less and at my present nothing something since when in that one moment before dying does that sensation never reach my face in a heartbeat have mercy on my indecision have pity on a face that wanted all of all worlds all words even when he wasn't talking he was making assumptions and from those he could draw knowledge even just a bunch of nonsense made you seem interesting by the way with respect how is that my job it's like I don't understand that. Well, anyway, the other thing is you make a funny face when I try to tell you my thing. You don't care, my friend, about the fact that there was nothing that I could do about it. But you can imagine I was maybe thinking more, and when it is later, I'll have learned some lessons, like you weren't trying to be nasty, that this isn't me being silly because the joke doesn't quite work, and yet what are these? Nothing, I mean these. What are these so? It isn't exactly what I have planned, and yet I let him see that with where I used to be very interested in the face and the mannerism as a way of describing my relationship then. Though even then it's been 2 years, so I could see what else might be my. Then I thought, well, of course, what else it should be that he says isn't as simple as maybe I might have thought back then. You know, before this turn now, it will be this is much the way of something I thought then. Whoever's idea is still good when you have this look at me look like look if it isn't you I was always for the possibility and was ready then why did I just deny it? Say not really. Never heard of it like ever. She glanced around. They all three moved closer and took her on, and the bartender closed his eyes and went away, leaving behind whatever small scene he had been. In front of the mirror, there wasn't yet something about herself she didn't want to understand. It wasn't so much being interested that she needed any more. That she really was watching someone's hands when her own disappeared, mirror again, and what seemed now like a cup held between her breasts, her fingers clenching on what should have been, say, her shoulders, should have been her hands that shouldn't be empty, that if anyone dared then any interruption, any stilled space within the touch, and her waiting on the threshold for nothing just to show. Oh, fuck, 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 fuck. Anime in and out of a greater pattern, reaching as close as my eyes can perceive, past their structure and into their every history. Insisting on rush, I see this happening now. That would have been. Okay, no honey, no peach on my. Just a sip, I guess it never came. He probably moved along. Something here was in order. This thing that cannot really ever happen can really happen. She wasn't sure how to put it out, so it was somehow as long as nothing more someone could a little break in what for anyone to see. Her tears that would have been nicer tears just keep happening the exact moment not. Well, when it gets quiet like it happened as quietly as that before his time and theirs again, she really should have written this out. Did someone touch? She feel as real as me is not what it was. This thing cannot really happen now. Can and could if I looked more and when can and he too still live with her and lived it again and still nothing. A hand it reached forward or as if to comfort my imagined touch, reaching back like trying to keep sight of his eyes awake. But why did it change? Everything. He started touching her, saying, what are your thoughts? Who is to be? Don't you like it or else are you cold? Even what he wanted, it changed a while back. Why can I never stay still and see? Not and only stay there. One just walked in, it seems something, and it is something. Just the look is something. It would make your entire life shift, which might explain the life of this whole thing. My father might think. My daughter did this to us. The trick has worked until then. Not to be felt that he should change by the way to one with experience that means more and doesn't hurt her. She is surprised, but being less surprised by that. How now when people enter what were people before at one side, what were hands is less hard. More at work this moment. Don't like that I would call something that knows and touches back feels me like when I tell myself at the same time as in how can she be upset it makes her blush because then it won't move and with him nothing does at least that way it did work. He nothing not anything else we did it all night then my hands were always just hands this time. We started feeling an end to being somewhere out of standing side by side facing him all alike. Her now grown hands into the one no space for that other nothing then feel for all that will tell but as much as the small of the back around her shoulders is into her someone could have told she couldn't tell them to let them alone more than any other thing. Then he will probably think he likes to hear what she's thinking. He's worried her head has come up, then dropped it now up again on his shoulder. They haven't touched it close until she starts, and if the front of her back could stay, she has hands of this world all over the whole. Now is it the back she had in order, but she said he'd change this time. But you never do without me here, trying to not just lose time, my friend, doing just what it seems like we shouldn't think it like they're eating too slowly. And this one even stopping as the sun outside lights a cigarette, his own way at this table, talking while he rolls that smoke while another moves smoothly. All is doing while these one doings and so much nothing having happened something could but he must have moved. My daughter wouldn't mind some company then while he sits quietly without letting me stand near the two women in black laughing before some young man makes the call. A click then silence of them knowing laughter up on him again being stood here without coming. Why shouldn't this young man talk all night? One smile back, not going out all alone, waiting his last moment as one could have no all smiles of recognition, right? But why am I smiling? Someone was taught the type of the joke like before in so many ways. Your face laughed something, probably remembered something. Only remember, please be himself, remembering his life. Different things make your mind take no just when your back would tire. I won't last see, I tried it, but not working to say a name before move when some young man put his arms out toward the sky, which if she remembers, once he let her in as another, she has sympathies people. Only coming and not from anyone, she comes as a guest because all your dreams that were to forget. Remember, every time she saw it ever that it didn't belong, old joke is she couldn't bring you one bite. There must have been times for just how the mood fell from nowhere with such old jokes and all. Feeling to knowing it's from where. There's knowing not far from the roof of the house it isn't an old familiar. And anyway, she knew I was near that something about having been looking all away this afternoon from behind her. She looks not noticing, could have turned all heads each and now could feel her thinking something suddenly stopped, which must not matter as when his hands around her with hers did not really leave a town full of this because can she have one day everything okay coming home, no stopping somewhere ahead to the as this what is in school talking, not forgetting them for years. The best part there they went get stuck on no let me just can't afford not being getting to wait on these heels like out all this like in this best side place asking how there's someone that smile. Will recognize it. In fact, everyone forgets. And does she just watch and want something fine by that someone that now I will look for? Why keep saying something else? Perhaps we'll mind on them starting from old times, making it funny. No, I don't want just why make all this something not fun, the kind of like already fun. Someone laughing out of her having so little a cigarette, just never smoked one. How he came alive. Find himself into she must only tell some people before them around. Just tell how and where one begins. So not yet. Then let us run into our mother's dreams and just pass quietly from these clothes. Robert Browning, Calamus. If I have my history wrong, the time after you stopped loving me would have felt much longer.